connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Good morning, Idaho. It is 6 a.m. on a Wednesday, and I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. Great to have you along, everyone. Let's get to our large team of neighborhood reporters, what they're going to be covering. Like coming up, our Victoria Rodriguez at the hearing of the Caldwell father accused of murdering his 18-year-old adopted daughter. She speaks exclusively with the victim's mother as Delbert Cornish changed his plea to guilty. Also, our Sahana Patel brings us new details on the plan to station Middle Eastern Air Force personnel and fighter jets at the Mountain Home Air Force Base. We'll get to all those stories in just a moment. First, though, let's get the latest on our weather with Sophia Cruz, who's well rested after a nice long vacation. Well rested, right?
Yeah, very well rested. I had a ton of fun at the music festival. The dust down there and the allergies just got me, though. Happens every time. So I'm happy to be returning to some nice, cooler weather as well as a bit of a dusting of snow. Now, here's a look at yesterday from Stanley. You'll notice that they got a mix of snow throughout the morning when temperatures were coolest. Then that changed over to rain and a mixture of snow as things started to warm up out there, and that really just melted off the rest of the snow as temperatures warmed. Now through the next couple of days, it will still be unsettled as you head into Sunday, Monday. That's when we'll see those, again, chances of rain and snow showers here. But until then, you've got Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to enjoy that nice cooler weather throughout your afternoons with those mid-50s. For the rest of us, though, we will still see some rain for the morning. So for those of you heading into the bus stop, don't forget the umbrella or the jacket. You've got 40s and then mid-50s heading home. Roland.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Good to have you back. And it's time to get to the news now at 6:01, and a story that affects so many people. New this morning, a story about the open enrollment that begins for Your Health Idaho. It starts today, and our Riley Shoemaker has what you need to know and how the federal government shutdown could impact that process.
Good morning, Idaho. Today marks the start of healthcare open enrollment in Idaho, the first state in the country to open its sign-up window. I'm downtown Boise neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker breaking down what you need to know about rising premiums, how Idaho compares, and what the federal shutdown debate could mean for your coverage.
For Idahoans buying insurance through Your Health Idaho, the state's Affordable Care Act marketplace, October 15th is the first day to review plans. And for many, that comes with news of rising costs.
On average, we'll go up by 10%. That's really probably one of the lowest in the country as far as increases.
That 10% is only an average. Some plans will see smaller increases, while others could climb higher. Idaho Department of Insurance Director Dean Cameron tells me while some states are seeing spikes as high as 30%, Idaho has kept rates relatively flat for the past 5 years. That's partly due to more competition, with several new insurance carriers joining the state exchange in recent years. But Cameron says increases still reflect a national trend of higher medical and hospital costs driven by inflation.
When those costs go up, then that gets passed along through your insurance to the consumer.
For most Idahoans, that rate hike could be softened by the ACA's tax credit. But whether those boosted subsidies stick around, still up in the air as Congress wrangles over the budget.
One of the issues Congress is debating about or fighting about with the shutdown is the enhanced premium tax credit.
Those pandemic-era ACA tax credits that helped lower premiums are set to run out next year unless Congress acts, and that could mean higher costs ahead. Idaho's Department of Insurance says now is the time to reach out and go over your options.
Open enrollment runs through December 15th. You can shop and compare plans at yourhealthidaho.org. I'm downtown Boise neighborhood reporter Riley Shoemaker, Idaho News 6.
A 20-year-old Boise man faces 2 counts of aggravated assault after police say he threatened employees with a knife at the Boise Town Square Mall. Police responded to the incident around 6:30 Monday evening. Through investigation, they determined the suspect first fought with employees at a store kiosk. Police say he returned a short time later and threatened those employees before putting on a mask and fleeing. He was arrested Tuesday and booked into the Ada County Jail.
A Caldwell father charged with murdering his 18-year-old daughter in August. Through his lawyer, tells a Canyon County judge he plans to plead guilty.
I'm your Canyon County neighborhood reporter, Victoria Rodriguez, and I was inside the courtroom for that hearing and spoke exclusively to the victim's mother, who considers the move a major relief for her surviving son. Bristol Thompson is describing the moments she saw her daughter's accused killer in court.
You hear people say, my blood went cold. That's what happened to me. My blood went cold.
As Idaho News 6 has reported, court records we obtained shortly after his arrest state Delbert Cornish told police he planned to kill his children and then himself. Now, at an arraignment in Canyon County Court, Cornish's lawyer told a judge his client plans to plead guilty.
At this time, Mr. Cornish would like to change his plea to guilty.
He made eye contact with me, and then he looked away, and he never made eye contact again.
Cornish faces several serious charges, including first-degree murder, assault with intent to commit murder, a felony enhancement for using a firearm, and animal cruelty. She says her biggest concern has always been protecting Onyx's brother, Lucian, who police say ultimately disarmed his dad that day and called 911.
He'll save Lucian from having to go through getting up on the stand. That's what I've been really worried about. I just want my daughter to have justice.
Cornish is expected back in court on November 12th to formally change his plea. Thompson tells me she and her son Lucian will be there as they continue to seek healing and justice for Onyx. Reporting in Caldwell, I'm your Canyon County neighborhood reporter, Victoria Rodriguez for Idaho News 6.
International news shining a light in Mountain Home. I'm your Mountain Home neighborhood reporter Sahana Patel at City Hall, where a press conference aimed to clear confusion around last week's announcement of a Qatar Air Force Base training facility right here at Mountain Home Air Force Base.
This is more than just an expansion of operations at our base. This is International Partnership presents a milestone for Mountain Home.
Mountain Home leaders hosting a press conference Tuesday, 4 days after the U.S. Defense Department announced the establishment of a Qatari Emiri Air Force training facility at the Mountain Home Air Force Base. The Qataris are expected to bring 12 jets to Mountain Home, and leaders say this partnership will mirror the one already in place with the Singaporean Air Force.
I think the key word here is hosting. We are excited to host the Qataris and partner with them at Mountain Home Air Force Base. This is nothing new. This has been in the works for, I think, as far back as 2017.
Mayor Rich Sykes says he found out the deal was finalized around the same time as the public, but confirms the discussions have been going on for years.
They flew myself and our military liaison, Marty Anderson, out to Qatar to talk to their Air Force and what their needs are, what they expect, and all that good stuff in 2023, May of 2023.
Mayor Sykes is optimistic the partnership will bring lasting impacts to the local economy.
This partnership will strengthen our economic foundation. Increased base operation means potential job creations, sustained investment in our community infrastructure, and continued support of our local economy.
And he adds, it's also a chance for neighbors to connect with a new culture.
Our residents will have the opportunities to engage in international partners, to learn more about different cultures, and to broaden our community's global perspective. That's an enriching experience for everyone, especially our youth.
As for concerns from neighbors, Mayor Sykes says he doesn't expect any major issues.
Here moving forward, I just hope that people don't have a closed-minded thought process of a culture just because they see something that might not be true or they hear things. To do your homework and really do your research, because we're all one people at the end of the day.
They expect to have the Qataris arrive by 2030 under a 10-year contract. I'm your Mountain Home neighborhood reporter Sahana Patel for Idaho News 6.
The man who firebombed the mansion of Pennsylvania's governor while his family slept inside will spend up to 50 years in prison. Newly released video shows 38-year-old Cody Balmer breaking the window of Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro's home and throwing a Molotov cocktail inside before entering through another window. Flames spreading fast as the attacker tries to break down doors, including one leading to the governor himself. The arsonist pleading guilty to attempted murder.
I think we need real accountability for acts of political violence. And today is real accountability.
After his arrest, officials say Balmer confessed and told investigators he targeted Shapiro because of Israel's military actions in Gaza. Local elections are right around the corner, and early voting is already underway at the new Canyon County Elections Building. Early voting in Ada County starts next week. Early voting is available from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Just like the general election, you can register at the time of voting as long as you bring in an acceptable form of Idaho ID and proof of residence. For many voters, a current Idaho driver's license meets both requirements. If you'd prefer to vote by mail, you have until Friday, October 24th to request your absentee ballot. And of course, you can always vote in person on November 4th. Depending on where you live, not everyone will have something on the ballot this November. You can always review your voter information and check your sample ballot on voteidaho.gov. Americans are feeling the impact while Republicans and Democrats remain in deadlock. After the break, we look into the increasing fallout from the government shutdown. And we're back on a Wednesday. It's 12 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at your national headlines this morning. The U.S. Supreme Court set to listen to oral arguments today over congressional redistricting. Now, the court case focuses on Louisiana's new congressional maps. The case could have lasting impacts on the Voting Rights Act. The state has asked the nation's highest court to rule on whether it is constitutional to gerrymander congressional maps based on race. A ruling in the state's favor could allow it and other Republican-led states in the South to draw new maps that eliminate virtually all majority black districts, which have been Democratic strongholds. The State Department has revoked visas from people who allegedly celebrated the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The department listed examples from 6 people from Argentina, South Africa, Paraguay, Mexico, Brazil, and Germany. The move has raised questions, though, about legality under the First Amendment in this country. This happened the same day President Trump posthumously awarded Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And it is a big day for many federal workers caught up in the government shutdown. It is payday for U.S. service members, and President Donald Trump says they are getting checks due to a reallocation of funds from the Pentagon's research and development budget. Meanwhile, 2 unions are trying to stop the layoffs of federal workers in court. The Trump administration says about 4,100 employees are affected. Now, the fallout from the government shutdown is being felt across the country right now. From airports to federal agencies, it is hitting Americans, while Republicans and Democrats, still being paid, of course, remain deadlocked on how to fund the government. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
The fallout is growing from the government shutdown as Republicans and Democrats remain at a standstill. It comes as President Trump met with Argentina's president Tuesday at the White House to announce a $20 billion bailout. Democrats slamming the administration, saying the U.S. has $20 billion in taxpayer funds for Argentina, but not for lowering health care costs for millions of Americans.
The overwhelming majority of Americans say we need help with our health care, and they're busy spending $20 billion because Trump seems to really like the leader of Argentina.
But Republicans pointing the blame for the shutdown on Democrats.
Democrats have made demands. And by the way, very expensive demands. And they've taken government funding hostage.
The White House has already fired more than 4,000 federal workers since the shutdown began. Now the president is threatening to lay off even more and dismantle programs favored by Democrats.
The Democrats are getting killed on the shutdown because we're closing up programs that are Democrat programs that we were opposed to.
But Democrats say the Republicans have already been cutting programs since Trump returned to office.
The fact that they're celebrating firing hardworking federal employees doesn't strengthen their position with the American people. It weakens it.
The shutdown also causing controversy at major airports across the country. Many are refusing to play Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's video, blaming Democrats for the shutdown, citing the Federal Hatch Act, which prohibits political activity. This as federal employees face the growing uncertainty of working without pay.
Not knowing exactly how I'm going to have childcare for my kids or put gas in the car or pay the next mortgage payment adds a certain level of stress onto an already stressful profession.
The White House says it's keeping troops paid by using research and development funding, and it's now looking for ways to do the same with federal law enforcement. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Good morning, everyone. Don't forget the umbrella or the jacket as you head out. Our neighborhood of the day is the Treasure Valley. Shower chances sticking with us through at least lunchtime. I'll be showing you what's in store for the rest of the day and the weekend coming up.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
All right, well, it's 6:18, and as you get ready for the morning with us, take a look at yesterday. Galena Pass got a few inches of snow up there. Again, if you are heading up to the mountains, drive safely and slowly. A lot of this will melt off as things start to warm up and as we start to see that rain and snow mixture come about. But it's just that friendly reminder, especially as seasons change. You gotta really spread it out there just to drive safe. As far as this morning goes, from Pine to Mountain Home and even Boise, we've got some showers moving through. It's pretty quiet throughout the Magic Valley, so not too much action happening out there, but we are looking at some light rain accompanying us for our morning commute. Now grab the umbrella and keep it with you. The reason why I'm saying that is because as this low starts to approach and grow even closer to Idaho, all of that moisture is going to eventually scatter into our mountains and parts of our valley floor. So even yesterday at McCall, it's pretty nice and sunny throughout the day ahead. They didn't get too much rain here. A lot of it focused over the east, but as we head through the next couple days, notice that they start to see some very cool mornings ahead. 26 into tomorrow, 27 by Friday, mid-50s into the afternoons, and then unsettled weather moving back into Sunday and Monday. As far as how much rainfall we can expect, it's not going to be heaviest here in the Boise area, but it is focused from Boise over into Twin Falls and Burley, even into our east central mountains between Ketchum and Fairfield. As we move through the day, many of us will get close to that 10th mark on our valley floors, but our mountains will see a majority of the rain and snow mixture come. As far as how much snow we will get, a lot of it will be limited towards those ridge tops, especially as things warm up throughout the afternoons. It is a little dust and snow coming our way, so just anywhere near 3 inches in Ketchum, less than that even in McCall and Cascade, barely anything up there. But through the morning, we will see mostly rain for our valley floor. So from Boise down into Twin Falls, this is where that moisture is going to focus over. Waking up in Stanley, you may wake up to dusting of snow, but as things warm up, this will turn into that rain and snow mixture, which is why you're looking at some blue and green here. By the time we head down into the 5 o'clock and into our valley floors here in the Magic Valley, that's when you'll see some showers move through. It grows a little heavier into Rupert and Magic, but for us, it'll be quiet by then. Thursday morning, we will see a lot of that moisture exit off to our east, and that'll leave some cloudy starts over in Twin Falls, Rupert, and Jerome, but mostly just breezy and cool and a little chilly at times for our morning. By the afternoon, those winds will have increased, and we'll see a lot of sunshine out there. So through Thursday, we'll be okay, especially when waking up Friday morning, maybe just a few lingering clouds over those west central mountains, but sunshine is going to make a return. Notice that through the weekend, we stick with that sunny pattern through at least Saturday with mid-60s into the afternoon. Shower chances by Sunday. Next week, even cooler weather. Some would even say better sweater weather with mid-50s by Monday and Tuesday.
Young girls in Nampa are leading the charge on flag football with help from the Seattle Seahawks.
Now, skeletons are everywhere these days as we ramp up for Halloween, so it's the perfect time to consider bone health. It is Wellness Wednesday, where we're healthier together, and today we are looking at the scary effects of not caring for our bones. That bony skeleton we all have inside us may look better covered in skin, but it's the foundation of our health in so many ways.
Bones are not just sort of for strength and structure, they're for protection and they're for mobility and stability as well.
Dr. Meltzer says a few important things for good bones are calcium, vitamin D, and protein. All of them have multiple sources. Weight-bearing exercise, he says, helps too. But Dr. Meltzer says nothing stops the ravages of time.
Most of us after the age of 30, which typically is peak mineralization for our bones, have some degree of we're losing more bone than we're making.
He says how big that loss ratio is often depends on how well we eat and exercise. Just remember, the days of bouncing back after falling off a skateboard might be behind you.
When you're younger, everything seems to work better.
In Boise, I'm senior reporter Roland Barris, Idaho News 6.
For years, flag football has been seen as a backyard sport, reserved for turkey bowls and family feuds, and now it's going for gold. I'm your Nampa neighborhood reporter Keith Burrell, and young girls in Nampa are getting the opportunity from the Seattle Seahawks with a tournament. At Skyview High, the Idaho Girls Flag Football Association and the Seattle Seahawks are teaming up with the Nampa School District to grow opportunities for girls to play.
Just to get enough girls to participate at the end of the day. We know a lot of the sports are popular with basketball and volleyball. So the challenge of getting new girls to come in and play a new sport, But over 50% of the girls that are playing are new to any sport in general.
Tanner Brock says school districts are showing interest, but funding and staffing are slowing efforts to make girls flag football a sanctioned high school sport.
The Seahawks have reached out, and they've even kind of been denied a little bit. They've been like, yeah, Idaho's been tough for us. So that's what made me have that real big challenge of saying, hey, we'll make it happen, whatever we got to do.
I do believe that because it will help motivate them, okay, these girls are doing it, why not?
The tournament with help from the Seahawks will be Saturday, October 26th, and you can find a link to register in this story on our website, idahonews6.com. And don't forget, you can always join the conversation on our 2C Facebook page. From Skyview High School, I'm your Nampa neighborhood reporter, Keith Burrell for Idaho News 6.
All right, thanks for joining us this morning on Good Morning Idaho, and we've got a lot more in store. It's 6:26, everyone. Here's what's still to come from your neighborhood reporters.
In Boise, hear from neighbors gathering at the state capitol in honor of Charlie Kirk.
At the Boise airport, we're breaking down legal concerns over a government video playing at many TSA checkpoints across the country.
Connecting neighborhoods across the Treasure and Magic Valleys, telling stories from within our communities. This is Good Morning Idaho.
Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Idaho, everyone. I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. Still a lot to get to on this Wednesday morning from our large team of neighborhood reporters. Take a look at this. Our Leslie Solis at yesterday's event on the steps of the Capitol in honor of what would have been Charlie Kirk's 32nd birthday. And she brings us the scene and what both supporters and protesters had to say. Also, our Brady Caskey at the Boise airport, where controversy has been brewing over that Department of Homeland Security video playing at the Boise airport, at least for a while, raising questions of legality. More on all that coming up in just a bit. But first, let's bring in our Sophia pumpkin spice cruise. Latest on our weather.
Pumpkin spice and everything nice, especially because it's going to be nice, cozy weather today. And as we even head into next week, it's getting pretty cool. So if you like iced coffee, you may want to start moving over to warm coffee as we head through the next couple mornings. For right now, though, you've got an active radar from Pine to Boise and Mountain Home. A lot of moisture focusing over here. We'll see some showers eventually scatter into our Magic Valley as we head into the later end of the day. But for the kiddos walking into the bus stop this morning, grab the umbrella and the jacket. You've got mid-40s, shower chances following through the morning. By the time you're coming home, mid-50s, and we'll see some more sunshine and drier conditions. But even into next week, we're looking at colder than normal temperatures. So the cool down is only continuing, Roland.
It looks that way. It's that time of year, and we're getting snow, which is good news. All right. Thanks, Sophia. It is time to turn to the news now, and we turn to that event honoring Charlie Kirk's birthday. Our Leslie Solis was at the state capitol and filed this story.
What would have been Charlie Kirk's 32nd birthday, a crowd gathered at the Idaho State Capitol in remembrance.
Understand that it's no longer just Charlie's mission, but it's all of ours.
I'm our neighborhood reporter Leslie Solis talking with participants who came out for the God's Country March, focused in faith and on remembering Charlie Kirk.
You know, when we first started getting, flyers sent to us, they were, God and country. To me, the first thing that stood out was God.
It was a day of gathering for many community members who came out to the state capitol to show their support for late political activist Charlie Kirk. Kirk was shot and killed a month ago while speaking at Utah Valley University. At Tuesday's event, many of his supporters telling me Kirk was meant to share the word of God.
Understand that it's no longer just Charlie's mission, but it's all of ours. It's more important than ever for us to be standing firm in our beliefs and not to let this silence us.
The crowd, all dressed in red to honor his memory, held candles, posters, and flags. Aiden Shingler, who met Kirk before his death, still shaken.
But then for him to get assassinated that day was just absolutely devastating. And I sat there for almost 2 hours just shaking. Like, what does this mean? That if I speak my beliefs, will I get killed too?
I also spoke with neighbors who felt differently about the event, voicing their opposition to the march and Charlie Kirk.
I do not condone the death of Charlie Kirk. In fact, they are doing exactly what I think is the worst thing they could do with his death. They've turned him into a martyr. They're using his death as a way to politicize things and divide people even further. And I can't believe that. I don't think Charlie Kirk would want that.
While organizers say the God's Country March is part of a broader effort to position Idaho as a model for what they call a God-centered nation. The initiative has sparked debate among many.
What are we talking about when we say God's country march? And I just want to be clear on that. And I also want to be clear that the myth that we are a Christian country is just that. It's a myth.
Tuesday's march came just hours after Charlie Kirk was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor. President Trump presenting the award to Kirk's wife. I'm our neighborhood reporter Leslie Solis for Idaho News 6.
Most major national media outlets could lose access to the Pentagon as soon as today. This is Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth demands they sign on to new rules promising not to obtain or use any unauthorized material, even if it's not classified. The change would effectively limit press coverage to just the agency's official releases and talking points. Groups like ABC, Fox News, Newsmax, the New York Times, the Associated Press, and Reuters say they won't have it, calling the change unprecedented and a threat to the core principles of America's free press. Hegseth's team says any reporters who don't comply will be thrown out as soon as today.
If you've traveled through airports in the last week or so, you may have seen this clip from the Department of Homeland Security.
Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted.
But not here in Boise, at least not today. I'm your neighborhood reporter Brady Caskey at the Boise airport with input from a local lawmaker who says the government playing the video at TSA checkpoints is actually illegal. The Department of Homeland Security directed TSA checkpoints across the country to play this video, but many airports are refusing, citing its partisan content.
I think it's shocking that the federal government, that after all that's happened, is now using federal dollars, taxpayer money, to promote a political and very partisan message.
Democratic Senator Melissa Wintrow says she was shocked to see the video airing at airport securities.
I think what Kristi Noem is doing is not just unethical, it's illegal. It's a violation of the Hatch Act, which was there to provide protections from the federal government from using its office in a partisan way.
The city of Boise tells Idaho News 6 they weren't specifically asked to air the video on their city-owned monitors, which would be against their policies. But the video did air on a TSA-owned screen last week until it stopped working over the weekend.
I think Kristi Noem has turned the TSA, something everybody has to experience going on the plane, into a political ad instead of security. And I think that's wrong.
The government shutdown means missed paychecks for many public servants, including TSA employees.
These are human beings. These are Americans who have done nothing more than to sign up for a job to help their country. To basically hold government employees hostage when they have to put food on their own table and care for their own families, I think is outrageous and shameful.
The government shutdown started 2 weeks ago, and most of the TSA agents here at the Boise airport are working without pay. I'm Brady Caskey reporting for Idaho News 6.
A Washington woman facing battery charges after police say she forced a flight to make an emergency landing at the Boise airport on Monday night. Police say the 62-year-old was acting erratically and struck two airline employees who were trying to calm her down. That's when staff restrained the woman and diverted to Boise. Upon landing, she was taken into custody and booked into the Ada County Jail. Check out this video from Middleton Star firefighters. They shared it overnight. Reports of vehicles on fire late Monday prompted a multi-agency response as crews worked to quickly knock down the fire and prevent further property damage. At this time, the cause of these fires is unknown, but they thank the Caldwell Fire Department for assisting during the incident.
A lot of families are now calling Star home, and with that comes construction for a new elementary school and added traffic around Star Middle School. I'm your Star neighborhood reporter Greenlee Clark, seeing how improvements are already taking shape as the city teams up with the school district to keep students safe.
We have traffic sometimes that goes all the way from our parking lot all the way out the road, all the way out to Floating Feather.
Principal Jason Myers knows traffic backups have been a part of daily life for Star parents. Slowing pickup and drop-off and clogging one of the main roads through Star. City and school leaders agreed something had to change.
The new parking lot that's been built there, the south of the school, has really helped parents.
The addition gives families the option of parking farther from the main entrance and letting kids walk or bike over safely.
Star's new Independence Elementary opens next fall and will have its own entryway and turn lanes, which will help keep traffic off the middle school's roads during peak times.
I'm grateful for the mayor and the city council to be able to put that walk path in for us. That helped us out tremendously and gave kids a different way to get to school and helped parents out tremendously.
The city is currently working with ITD and ACHD with the hopes of widening Pollard Road in the future. I'm your Star Neighborhood reporter, Greenlee Clark, for Idaho News 6.
Star Mayor Trevor Chadwick addressing residents at the State of the City address last night, with Star being one of Idaho's fastest growing cities. He says moving forward, the city is working to balance residential growth with commercial development. He says inviting more businesses to the area will help keep property taxes low.
Why do we want to bring commercial to Star? Get back on that. It reduces the property tax burden on residential, it creates jobs, and enhances our local services.
The city currently maintains the lowest property tax rate in the Treasure Valley at $52 per $100,000 of assessed value. Meanwhile, Star's rapid population boom has strained school capacity. The mayor highlighting that 3 out of 4 schools in West Ada School District are operating over capacity.
Star Elementary School has 853 kids currently enrolled with a capacity of 650.
To help, the city and West Ada broke ground on Independence Elementary in July, a new school that will serve 700 students and is fully funded by the state.
This school is 100% paid for with state dollars and 0 property tax dollars. This is the first school in the state of Idaho being paid for this way.
Another new elementary school is also planned for the Middleton School District, where 4 out of 5 schools are operating over capacity. 6:39. Let's take a look at what's happening in your neighborhood today, everyone. Nampa Mayor Debbie Kling delivering her final State of the City address at the Ford Idaho Center today. Mayor Kling sharing that she will recognize the accomplishments over the past 8 years and share a message of hope for the future. That address is set to start at 11:30 this morning. Barnes & Noble getting their latest location right here in the Treasure Valley. A ribbon-cutting event set for 10 a.m. this morning to officially welcome the bookstore to the Village at Meridian. Local author Reagan Formawalt will be leading the event and signing copies of her book, Prince of Hearts. This is Barnes & Noble's second location in the area. And All City Management Services hosting a hiring event for Boise school crossing guards today. They're looking for people to work both before and after school hours to earn $37 a day for just 2 hours of work. If you're interested, the event runs noon to 2 at the library at Hillcrest. Just bring 2 forms of ID.
Filer voters will see 2 levies on the ballot next month, but we're learning that what's on the ballot doesn't necessarily reflect all the facts.
Idaho News 6 Allergy Report is brought to you by Boise Valley Asthma and Allergy Clinic.
Okay, a look at your allergy report. Sage, ragweed, and quinopod being both between the low to moderate. Not too bad, but it's something we'll keep our eye on as we head through the week together.
With Election Day coming up, voters in Filer will see not 1, but 2 levy requests from the school district. But according to yet another superintendent, what's on the ballot doesn't necessarily reflect all the facts. I'm your Filer neighborhood reporter Joey Martin, learning why 2 new levies will actually cost taxpayers much less than the price point put on the ballot.
After a failed $52 million bond attempt to build a new middle school last May, the Filer School District is asking voters to approve a different path for maintaining and upgrading their facilities. This time, a 10-year, $300,000 per year plant facilities levy, as well as a $650,000 2-year supplemental levy. But according to Filer's Superintendent of Schools, Kelly Schroeder, the tax estimate voters will see on the ballot omits a lot of crucial details, including the end of collections on a 20-year bond, as well as facility tax breaks from the state.
So last year, the school facility fund was $78 of a tax break that property owners saw, and that has increased to $82.
Schroeder tells me, according to the ballot, it would cost taxpayers $95 per $100,000 of assessed value if both levies were to pass. But that estimate is nowhere near what taxpayers would actually pay.
This year, asking for both of these but not collecting on the bond, it will lower that to $13 per 100,000. So while we're asking for 2, it is still less than what we have collected in the past.
Reporting in Filer, I'm your neighborhood reporter Joey Martin, Idaho News 6.
Used car prices have skyrocketed, but deals can be had. We'll reveal how you can still score a reliable ride for under $5,000 tomorrow morning at 6:45 on Good Morning Idaho.
Okay, neighborhood of the day is the Treasure Valley. Rain will follow us as well as a cool morning with 40s to start. By the afternoon, it'll be a lot quieter and we'll sit with those mid-50s. I'll be showing you the rest of the day ahead and also the weekend coming up.
Sophia Cruz with the Idaho News 6 forecast.
Welcome back at 6:47, and boy, we're loving these pictures from the mountains.
Yeah, it's great, especially because we are both getting excited for the season. We know the viewers are. Now we're just wondering when are Bogus, Tamarack, Sun Valley, and all of them going to start to open, especially when you take a look at the fresh powder. Here's a look at yesterday from Galena Pass. ITT sent this in to us, and this is again from Tuesday. Notice that you can even see some good tracks out here. So just drive carefully as you head up to the mountains. We'll continue to see that as we head through the really today and even a little bit as we start to end the weekend. But here's a look at Stanley yesterday. We saw some snow for the morning, turned over to rain, and then you get the snow mixture as things start to warm up. Eventually, all of that melts off as temperatures get towards that mid-50 mark. But either way, pretty nice and sunny through the days ahead, especially through your Friday, 58. Take a look at your morning soap, down to 17. So going to get pretty cool after this weather maker leaves us. But even into Sunday and Monday, that's when we'll see those rain and snow shower chances return. Temperatures then into Sunday sitting in those upper 40s. Right now, we have this upper level low continuing to bring up this moisture, so this southwesterly flow bringing on those rain chances as we head into today and through tomorrow. But walking you through what this looks like, you'll notice that it actually starts to get pretty quiet for us here in the Treasure Valley. We do see a rainy start to the day. From Boise to Mountain Home, some showers moving through. By the time we head into 5 o'clock, it's pretty quiet here in the Treasure Valley, but showers will scatter across those east central mountains, even bringing a bit of mixing of snow at times. That snow will accumulate at those highest ridge tops, but anything in the valley floors is going to kind of look like that snow and rain mixture we just took a look at. For the rest of the day ahead, heavier rain will make its way into Jerome, Twin Falls, and Rupert. So if you have any late evening plans, pack the umbrella and also just drive safely and slow as you head out there. Through Thursday morning, it's pretty quiet out here in the Treasure Valley, but we'll see some cooler air left behind and some breezy conditions. Notice though, anywhere in eastern Idaho from Ketchum, Jerome, and Twin Falls, shifting over to Blackfoot, and even as you head into Pocatello, you'll start to see that rain and snow mixture once again. It exits off to our east by Thursday into 5 o'clock, and then we don't really see too much change after that. Friday morning looks quiet, even into the afternoon, so if you have any afternoon plans or weekend plans that you're doing for Friday, you should be okay. As far as much rainfall, we will see a lot of it focus over the mountains, so this gets anywhere upwards towards a quarter inch in Ketchum, less than a tenth in Boise, but we will still see some good showers. Mountain Home into Twin Falls is where it looks like that heavier moisture will be. For rain, it doesn't look too bad. For snow, same story. So it is still just leading to that unsettled pattern for today and even what you guys saw at the start of the week. But notice that it's not going to bring very much snow. From Ketchum over to McCall, this isn't really going to affect those roads too much, but because we already did see that snow from yesterday, adding this on top of that, that will be where the concern starts. So just again, drive safely and slowly. Not looking at too much snowfall continue to impact us through the weekend, and it's actually going to start getting pretty dry out there. Just breezy and cool to end the week. So you get mid-60s into your Friday, 65 and sunny on Saturday. Then we'll see those rain chances return Sunday. We could see them trickle into Monday, but right now it's just going to be a lot of cooler weather following us Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures then cooling into the mid-50s. So even bigger cool down and sunshine in store for next week. Okay, it is 6:51 and it's Wednesday morning. Let's get you ready for your commute.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
All right, here's a look of downtown. Commuters heading out on this hump day. Happy hump day to you. We're through the middle of our week, and right now I'm showing you I-84 Garrity, where things are slowly picking up this morning. However, it's not too bad so far. Again, it is still pretty early. It's 6:51. We're still looking at some slowdowns along I-84 eastbound, taking a closer look on Karcher Road. That's where you'll run into some slowdown if you're heading into that westbound lane. Eastbound lane still looks pretty good, especially as you hop onto I-84. As far as drive times go, Jinden Boulevard to US 20 sits at just under 12 minutes, looking nice and green out there. Caldwell into downtown, also sitting in at under 34. So if you're heading on to I-84, now is a good time to get your morning started.
Now we'll look outside from the Treasure Valley Chevy Dealers Tower Cam.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the new twist in the death in apartment 603 case.
We want to know the truth.
Ellen Greenberg, the 27-year-old teacher whose stabbing death sparked a years-long search for answers, the Philadelphia Medical Examiner's Office stated Greenberg would be capable of inflicting these injuries herself, noting that there was no sign of a struggle or an intruder and no defensive wounds. And this morning, her parents are speaking out to ABC News.
It's safe to say you don't accept the ruling of suicide.
No. Just from a very clinical view, nothing leans towards suicide.
And we'll have much more coming up at 7 a.m. Plus, you can stream Death in Apartment 603, What Happened to Ellen Greenberg, right now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. With your GMA First Look, I'm Juju Chang, ABC News, New York.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's 5 minutes before the hour and we're just wrapping up here on Good Morning Idaho. In case you missed it, these are the top stories that we're following from our neighborhood reporters.
In Boise, hear from neighbors gathering at the state capitol in honor of Charlie Kirk. A large crowd honored political activist Charlie Kirk on his birthday at the Idaho State Capitol. The God's Country March came hours after Kirk received the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
At the Boise airport, we're breaking down legal concerns over a government video playing at many TSA checkpoints across the country. The video from the Department of Homeland Security has been deemed as partisan by lawmakers and may even violate the Hatch Act.
Efforts underway to keep students safe in Star.
A new walking path at Star Middle School is helping clear up congestion, even as construction continues for another school right next door.
And of course, you can learn more about all these stories on our website. Just head to idahonews6.com.
Now, the Out the Door forecast, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors.
Okay, good morning to you at home. It is 6:56, and as you head through your morning, grab the umbrella. Shower chances sticking with us through at least 11 a.m., and you also don't want to forget the jacket. We'll be then touching into about 48. 50s coming your way this afternoon. Going to be nice and cool through the later day ahead, but if you want to read more about the rain, head on over to Idaho News 6 to read the rest of the forecast. For now, we're going to check on your morning commute.
The Idaho News 6 traffic report is brought to you by Champion Windows.
6:57 is your time, and we are giving you a live look of downtown where commuters are heading out on what's going to be a wonderful Wednesday, and it's hump day, so we're already through the middle of the week. Right now, your drive times look really good. You've got airport into downtown at just under 10 minutes. Downtown Meridian to the airport, a little slow up out there, it's just under 18. Thankfully, it is still pretty quiet. The main congestion is just along I-84 eastbound, so just a heads up for our Caldwell commuters. I know you guys always really struggle with some heavy commute times here, but I-84 Garrity started to pick up just a bit, so just a heads up, it's still a good time to head out. And it's Wednesday, so we're almost to the weekend.
Yeah, we are. The ski swap is going to be coming up pretty soon. Look at these pictures here from Tamarack. The deer obviously frolicking, having a good time.
They really were.
They're having a great time out there. But we're so excited about skiing. It's going to be here before we know it.
And that's how we're going to be, frolicking like those deer.
Really hopping through the snow.
Yeah.
Bouncing.
No injuries this time. No injuries.
Right. That's what I'm going to hold you to this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good year, hopefully. It's La Nina, so we're hoping for a lot of snow. Hey, listen, thanks everyone for joining us. We will see you again tomorrow. Have a great day today and be safe on the roadways. We'll see you later on.